Hey y'all, welcome to Farm Girl Friday. This video is going to be a little different and a little special because it is for a special and very close to my heart homeschool group. And what they're studying this week is regenerative, permaculture, homesteading, agriculture in general in their homeschool curriculum. So they have asked me to make a video about what I do for a living and how my family lives. So come along for a little video about some details about myself, my business, and my lifestyle. So if that's what y'all would like, if y'all are interested in seeing that today, this is what that video is all about. I don't normally do a lot of personal stuff on here, but I need to start because my life is really cool and I love to share it with like-minded people. So behind me here is little Glitter. She's 2 weeks old today. She is a black baldy heifer. Her daddy is behind her. He is a full Hereford, and her mama is my beloved Glisten. She's right here. The whole family is hanging out with me this morning. So we are going to talk to you today about how I make my living in agriculture and what type of practices I personally use. So come along and enjoy the ride. This little girl is a delight. So since we're looking at a baby cow right now, I thought I'd start at the beginning of my story. I was homeschooled from kindergarten until I graduated high school. I walked across our back porch and received my diploma. And then I went on to study business and agriculture at a community college where I minored in sustainable agriculture. And that is what I do for a living. I have a farm that is self-sufficient. It is self-sustainable. These cows take care of the soil and the grasses that grow them and raise their babies like little Glitter. So I maintain grasses and cows for a living. I grew up on what you would call a traditional homestead. And then for my living now, I do sustainable agriculture or regenerative agriculture. So the practices I use for regenerative agriculture and sustainable agriculture is rotational grazing. As you can tell, all of my cows are pretty tame. Very tame, actually. This little girl is being raised 100% on her mama, and yet she lets me pet her almost every day. That is because with rotating my cows, I'm here several times a week, if not every day, checking on them and their well-being. I move them to new grass, which is food for them every single day. So I call it forages because instead of just grass, they have all types of food in their salad to eat every day. A lot of people in what we call commercial farming like to spray for weeds, such as pigweeds, clover. I have some cucumbers out here. I have a little bit of everything. But you know what? These guys eat 95% of it. So I do not spray chemicals in my pastures. That is part of the sustainable agriculture that I do. It's very similar to organic farming, but organic farming, they use some chemicals. It just depends on which ones they can use. I try to use zero. And it's not that I want a chemical to help me work through my agriculture and my farming techniques. Mother Nature is out here telling me what she needs. If I have a weedy spot in my pasture, that is because the soil needs some attention. I have a few spots out here that just likes to grow cucumbers, and that means that my soil is lacking in something. So I need to be out here paying attention. Little Glitter is getting her some breakfast. So this is what you would call a regular commercial cow farm. They keep their cows on their pasture 100% of the time They do not rotate them out, and for the most part, most people also have way too many cows per acre on these types of situations. So you can see there's no grass or very little grass this time of year especially. Most commercial farmers have to start feeding hay by September, even before fall really sets in. I will feed hay maybe 8 weeks, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, just depending on how harsh of a winter we do have. But my cows will have grass to eat until we pretty much have snow. So either very end of December, early January, and they will have to eat a little bit of hay until the grass starts coming back up in March. But that's only going to be at one pasture. At the big pasture where the yearlings are, they'll eat grass all year long. So this little weedy patch right here that I'm about to move my cows into today has cucumber and pigweeds. Why this one particular spot is so weedy, you can see here it's beautiful lush green grass, mostly fescue. Why this particular spot is weedy is because they fed all of his hay right here, and all of his nutrients were condensed into this one small area, making the soil too nutritious to grow anything of value. Too much of a good thing is also too much of a good thing. You've got to be sparing with your nutrition. That is why, or one of the reasons, I rotate my cows. So most farmers put a cow in a big field like this and just let them eat whatever they want. I personally come out here every 2 to 3 days and put up this fence. This is called a rotational fence. It's made with poly wire that I roll up on a reel and push in post, so it's easily pulled up and moved. And why I do this is to make sure my cows eat this specific spot down to where it needs to be, where it can do some regrowth. You can see right here where the grass is very, very happy because there's fresh grass growing up here. There's some dead leaves in there breaking back down to be organic matter. And there's also little sprigs coming back up already, even though the cows probably grazed that this morning. So why I do rotational grazing is so all the nutrients that my cows are taking off of this field stays right where they took it off of. So they ate that grass right here, and then they pooped it back out right here. They're not eating anywhere and everywhere on this field and then taking the nutrients off of it and putting it somewhere like in the shade down there or way down at the pond. They're leaving it right where they took it away from. So that is giving back to Mother Earth herself. Another good thing is it makes my cows really tame because I'm here moving them so often. And the biggest aspect of rotational grazing is you can see right over there how tall and green that grass is getting, because this grass gets to rest for 60 to 90 days before it's grazed again. So you can see how much it's grown. Even though they were just there a few weeks ago, it's ready for them to graze again because it was managed correctly. Instead of just letting them graze it and strip it down to where there's nothing else that the soil or the grass can do to sustain them, I pull them off of it, take them to a new spot. They eat here. They're going to eat in the next section today. And then this spot gets to rest for 60 to 90 days until the cows come back, munch it off again, and fertilize it before I move them again. My cows are 100% grass fed, just like the buffalo on the plains. Back in the times of the cowboys and the Indians, the beginning of time here in the United States, as we call our history, animals rotated themselves. The buffalo herds would move through the prairies as the grasses grew and got short as they ate it. They moved to a next spot. If they ran out of grass, they just moved themselves. They rotated themselves naturally. So since my cows don't live on the plains, I use these fences to rotate them, and they think it's the funnest thing in the world when I come out here and open them up a new section. I just pull this wire here. So I pulled the wire off here, And I pull up this post right here. Come on, cows! And then I call up my cows. And they come into their next rotation where their new fresh grass is for the next couple days. Even the babies learned how to be rotated already, and she's only 2 weeks old. Oh, she said Daddy was in the way. We gotta run. Oh, she's so happy. The cows always get really excited whenever they come into a new rotation. Just think you're at a buffet and they just brought out some of your favorite foods. So you get really excited to run up there with your plate. And that's exactly what my cows do. Watching them run around and have the biggest time ever, that's what makes it all worth it to me. Because I know they're happy and healthy out here. And that's what it's all about. So, I'm currently putting up a rotation that my cows are going to go in next time I come. And I move these fences every time I'm here. So at least twice to 3 times a week. So this pasture is known as my mama cow pasture. My adult and mature mama cows are here with my large mature bull. And y'all have met little Glitter. She is the newest baby in the herd, and I'm expecting one more baby in this pasture this fall. Most, if not all, of the students watching this video are from the mountains. So you won't see the significance of this view as much as we do here in the foothills. But I farm here in the foothills of North Carolina, and this view is the most magnificent thing to me. This is a pasture God blessed me with just in the past year. It is 60 acres, and this is what I call my yearling pasture, even though only 5 out of the 14 cows that are here are yearlings. There's also my heifers and my little bull Leroy, and all my steers live in this pasture right here. So my cows are verbally trained. They come when Mama calls because they know I'm opening them up a new salad bar. So just like at my other farm, these are rotated just on a lot larger scale. Come on, cows! So as I said before, these are my yearlings, my heifers, my steers, and little Leroy the bull, who is the only red cow in here. These are babies that I've raised on bottles, on their mamas. So being raised on a traditional homestead, my family raises dairy goats. And how I started this business was adopting orphan calves or twins that the mamas didn't want, and I raised them on our goat's milk from our homestead. So a big difference between homesteading versus just working in agriculture. Homesteading is a lifestyle. It is deciding every day that you want to live with the land. Hey guys! Where agriculture can just be like any other job. You can clock in, you can leave when you'd like to, and you can leave the emotions out of it if you honestly wanted to. But in regenerative agriculture, I don't do that. I want to be here for these guys, and I want to make sure they have the best lives possible. And as you can tell, they're pretty cool guys. Here's Leroy. Thank you guys for your interest in how I farm and how I run my business. If y'all have any more questions, feel free to reach back out to me. I'm sure I've missed a lot of things, so just talk to me again and I will be happy to answer more questions, especially since you've got to see some of the ins and outs of what I do every day. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'm so glad y'all are all being homeschooled. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I know it will be for y'all too. Bye guys!